Biopesticides and Pollinators, Evaluating Impacts. Title: Biopesticides and Pollinators, Evaluating Impacts. Introduction. As populations continue to grow and food demands increase, the use of pesticides in agriculture has become inevitable. However, the adverse effects of conventional pesticides on the environment and human health have raised concerns and prompted the exploration of alternative approaches. One such solution gaining popularity is the utilization of biopesticides. Understanding biopesticides. Biopesticides are derived from natural substances, such as living organisms, plant extracts, or naturally occurring minerals. Unlike conventional pesticides, which are mostly synthetic chemicals, biopesticides offer a more eco-friendly alternative by harnessing the power of nature to control pests. These substances work by targeting specific pests while sparing non-target organisms, making them an attractive option for sustainable pest management. Importance of pollinators. Pollinators, including bees, butterflies, birds, and other insects, play a vital role in global food production. It is estimated that nearly 75% of all crop species rely to some extent on pollinators. For seed production and fruit development. Moreover, pollinators support the reproduction and survival of countless plant species, contributing to biodiversity and ecosystem health. Therefore, NEA. Adverse effects of biopesticides on these essential creatures could have far-reaching consequences. Impact assessment of biopesticides on pollinators. To evaluate the effects of biopesticides on pollinators, extensive research is essential. Numerous studies have been conducted globally to assess the impact of biopesticides on pollinator populations. Behavior and overall health. Results have varied depending on the specific biopesticide, its application method, dosage, and target insect. 1. Acute toxicity and mortality. Some biopesticides, especially those derived from microbial organisms like Bacillus thuringiensis, BT, have shown low toxicity to pollinators. In contrast, other biopesticides, such as neem-based products, demonstrated varying degrees of acute toxicity to bees and other insects. However, it is important to note that toxicity levels often depend on the concentration used and the timing of application. In relation to pollinator activity. 2. Sublevel effects. Beyond mortality, sublevel effects of biopesticides on pollinators must be considered. These effects can include changes in behavior, growth, reproduction, and overall fitness. Certain biopesticides, such as those containing permethrins derived from chrysanthemum flowers, can cause short-term sublevel effects on pollinators. However, studies have also highlighted that some biopesticides have no detectable impact on pollinator behavior or health. 3. Residue persistence. Residue persistence is another crucial factor to consider when assessing biopesticides' impact on pollinators. Unlike conventional pesticides, which can persist in the environment for extended period, biopesticides generally degrade faster due to natural processes. Thus, the risk of accumulating residues in pollen and nectar, which could directly affect pollinators, is relatively low. Nevertheless, further research is necessary to fully understand the degradation rates and potential residue accumulation of different biopesticides in different environments. 4. Habitat and foraging availability. The landscape surrounding agricultural areas can also influence the impact of biopesticides on pollinators. Reduced floral diversity and availability due to intensive farming practices can impact pollinator foraging and reproductive success. Creating and preserving pollinator-friendly habitats, such as wildflower strips and hedgerows, can mitigate the potential effects of biopesticide use on pollinator populations. Biopesticides, or pesticides derived from natural substances, are gaining popularity as an eco-friendly alternative to conventional pesticides in agriculture. However, it is crucial to assess their impact on pollinators, such as bees and butterflies, which play a vital role in global food production and ecosystem health. To evaluate the effects of biopesticides on pollinators, extensive research has been conducted globally. These studies have examined aspects such as acute toxicity and mortality, sublevel effects, residue persistence, and the availability of habitats and foraging resources for pollinators. Some biopesticides, such as those derived from microbial organisms like Bacillus thuringiensis, BT, have shown low toxicity to pollinators. On the other hand, products containing neem have demonstrated varying degrees of acute toxicity to bees and other insects. Timing of application and concentration used are significant factors in determining toxicity levels. Beyond acute toxicity, sublevel effects of biopesticides on pollinators must be considered. For example, certain biopesticides derived from chrysanthemum flowers may cause short-term changes in pollinator behavior and health. However, many biopesticides have shown no detectable impact on pollinator behavior or fitness. Residue persistence is another important factor to consider. Unlike conventional pesticides, biopesticides generally degrade faster due to natural processes. Hence, the risk of accumulating residues in pollen and nectar is relatively low. Nonetheless, further research is needed to understand degradation rates and potential residue accumulation in different environments. The impact of biopesticides on pollinators is also influenced by the surrounding habitat. Intensive farming practices can reduce floral diversity and availability, affecting pollinator foraging and reproductive success. Establishing and preserving pollinator-friendly habitats, such as wildflower strips and hedgerows, can mitigate potential effects of biopesticide use on pollinator populations. Biopesticides are derived from natural substances, such as living organisms, plant extracts, or naturally occurring minerals. They offer a more eco-friendly alternative to conventional pesticides by harnessing the power of nature to control pests. Unlike synthetic chemicals, biopesticides target specific pests while sparing non-target organisms, making them ideal for sustainable pest management. Pollinators, including bees, butterflies, birds, and insects, play a vital role in global food production. Approximately 75% of crop species rely on pollinators for seed production and fruit development. And they also contribute to biodiversity and ecosystem health by supporting the reproduction and survival of countless plant species. Therefore, understanding the impact of biopesticides on these essential creatures is crucial. To assess the effects of biopesticides on pollinators, extensive research has been conducted globally. One aspect of evaluation is acute toxicity and mortality. Some biopesticides, like those derived from Bacillus thuringiensis, BT, have shown low toxicity to pollinators. However, others, such as neem-based products, have demonstrated varying degrees of acute toxicity to bees and other insects. The concentration used and timing of application in relation to pollinator activity can influence toxicity levels. Aside from mortality, sublevel effects of biopesticides must be considered. These effects can include changes in behavior, growth, reproduction, and overall fitness. Some biopesticides containing Pyrethroids derived from chrysanthemum flowers have shown short-term sublevel effects on pollinators. However, studies have also indicated that many biopesticides have no detectable impact on pollinator behavior or health. Residue persistence is another important factor when evaluating the impact of biopesticides on pollinators. Unlike conventional pesticides, biopesticides generally degrade faster due to natural processes. As a result, the risk of accumulating residues in pollen and nectar, which could directly affect pollinators, is relatively low. However, more research is needed to fully understand the degrada tie-in rates and potential residue accumulation of different biopesticides in different environments. The surrounding habitat and availability of foraging resources can also influence the impact of biopesticides on pollinators. Intensive farming practices that reduce floral diversity and availability can negatively affect pollinator foraging and reproductive success. Establishing and maintaining pollinator-friendly habitats, such as wildflower strips and hedgerows, can help mitigate the potentia.